Jesus from city to city. City Worship Radio.
Welcome to Inspired Living with Cynthia, your weekly dose of purpose, passion, and perspective. This is the space where real conversations meet real inspiration, where we uncover the tools, stories, and insights that help you live boldly, think clearly, and walk confidently into the life you were created for. So settle in, open your heart, and get ready to be uplifted, challenged, and inspired. This is Inspired Living with Cynthia.
Good evening and welcome. So tonight we're asking a question. How do you go from the pitcher's mound to the owner's suite? We're joined tonight by Mr. Anthony Gordon, who has done just that. A man who has successfully bridged the gap between professional sports and excellence in entrepreneurship. After retiring from the big leagues, Mr. Gordon set his sights on a new dream to become a powerhouse in the automotive industry. A multi-year winner of the Ford prestigious President's Award, whether he's serving his community or leading his business or ministering, that's right, I said ministering, yes, at the New Zion Temple, his life is a testament to the power of grace and hard work. We're honored to have him with us tonight. Welcome, Mr. Gordon.
Thank you for having me, Ms. Downing. I appreciate being here tonight.
Awesome. Thank you so much for agreeing to share with us. And we're going to dive right in. I want to, the name of my show is Inspired Living. So, what does inspired living mean to you?
Well, for me, it means, having that confidence, as you mentioned, having that relevance in your life, being that light that God speaks of, obviously. Just being an inspiration to others, having doing something that will inspire others or uplift others in their lives.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, inspired living. And when you think back to the beginning, what were some of the, or who, or what were some of the things that inspired you in the beginning?
Well, if we're talking baseball or just in life in general, my parents certainly was very inspirational for me. I mean, just the hard work, the dedication that they put in on a day-to-day basis within their lives, their life living. They were migrant workers, but they went to work every day to obviously provide for the family. And my parents were certainly very inspirational for me.
Yes, absolutely. You mentioned migrant workers. That gives me flashback because my parents were also migrant workers. So I think a lot of people in this area were migrant workers, I would say. Um, so tell me, what was a spark that made you want to become a professional baseball player? We'll start there and then we'll get into the business side.
Well, I can say this because my dad, who was a migrant worker, him and his friends would oftentimes go out and play baseball after they finished their day of work and the weekend was over. I mean, the week was over and they had the weekend to consider. So they would, get together and play baseball games. And many of their baseball games took place right there in Haines City. So I kind of had somewhat of a life living on the weekend in Haines City. So, but watching them and their friends and obviously competing against others inspired my brother and I both to become baseball players. We just fell in love with the game.
Yeah, that is awesome. So tell me a little bit about the dream to play baseball. What was that like?
Well, growing up in Avon Park, which is a lot smaller than many towns, I mean, just it's a very small town, so it's not a lot other than sports to really consider. So, growing up, I grew up playing three sports: basketball, football, baseball, and my passion was basketball, but I was a little bit too short to play basketball, especially the position that I enjoyed playing. But baseball always took to me because my dad was a pitcher, my brother was a pitcher, and I became a pitcher myself. So, just playing the game, playing with family, playing with friends, growing up in high school, being that athlete, And then having the opportunity, because my brother got drafted by the Kansas City Royals the year before, the year he graduated, and that just kind of inspired me because I was like, man, if he can do it, I can do it as well. So, and then within that year of 1987, when I graduated, I was drafted by the Seattle Mariners, and that just gave me the desire to take it even further.
Awesome. That's awesome. So now we're going to talk a little bit about crossroads or challenges. Every inspiring journey has some valleys. Could you share a moment of significant challenge or a time that you felt like you were stuck?
Yes, absolutely. I remember this was within my fourth year of playing professional baseball, and I was with, at that time, the Milwaukee Brewers, and I was out there pitching that night, and I ended up hurting myself. I ended up tearing my rotator cuff during that game, and so that put me on the disabled list, and basically my career ended at that particular time.
Wow.
So that was a transition in my life because I was still young. I was 23 or 24 years of age, and just fresh, pretty much out of high school. So not a lot to fall back on once you're done playing professional sports and don't have a college degree or education to go on and to consider other things. So that was a pivotal and a transitioning moment of my life because I left professional sports and I came back home in Avon Park, and it was like, all right, what do I do with my life now? What am I going to consider with my life now? I mean, so it was a very low point for me at that time of my life. Yes.
Yeah, I can understand you.
Yes.
You've trained and prepared all your life for your dream,
Yes.
and you're living your dream basically.
Yes.
And then something happened. So, what was an internal story that you were telling yourself during that difficult period?
Well, I had a good supporting cast too. Now, I can't leave my family out. My brother, who was at that time currently still playing professional baseball, so he was there supporting me as well. My mom and dad was there. My family was there still supporting me. For me, inside of me, I felt like there was more I could do with my life other than just play baseball. And even though I knew that pretty much that had come to an end, I felt like there was more to my life. And so I went back to school and started going to college again, and taking some classes, doing some things with my life to, just trying to see where the Lord leads me. Because at that time, I didn't know where I was going.
Right.
I didn't know what was going on with my life. I've heard a story say, if you ever want to hear God laugh, just tell him your plans.
Nope.
So I had plans of doing this and this and this, and then God says, all right, it's time to do something different.
Right.
But not having all the details behind it was very difficult for me at that time. But God saw me through it.
I can see where that would be challenging.
Yes.
Was there a piece of bad advice that you received during that time that you're just glad that you ignored it?
I don't know if I received any bad news. I can say that I didn't listen to what everyone was saying. Let me just say that. When you're coming back home and you haven't successfully fulfilled the dreams that you have, and you're listening to naysayers or people just saying, well, now what is he going to do with his life now? Now that
Right.
baseball is over. Now, what is he going to do now? His brother's still playing. What's his life going to be like? I think for me, I just didn't pay attention to all the things that people were saying at that time. I felt like there was still something that I could do.
A viable path.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, what was the first small step that you took to pull yourself out of that challenging time?
Well, when I can honestly say this, when I came back, I got more involved in the church. So for me, when I got back home, I started going to church more. I started devoting my life more to Christ. So at that time, I think for me, that was that was the comfort for me because, now I'm praying more. Now I'm relying more on God. Lord, I'm giving more of my life and my direction over to God, and I'm saying, Lord, you got to help me with this because I have no idea what I'm going to do with my life. So you got to help me with this. And I was single. I was like, I'm at a point in my life where if I just do decide to have a family, where am I going with it? So, but yes, certainly the Lord helped me out in many ways to be able to transition through it successfully. Well, let me say that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Okay, when was the moment? When did you decide that going into business was the answer, or were you led there? How did you come to that conclusion?
Well, I'm going to say this as I've said to many people. I didn't choose this life. This God chose this life for me.
Okay.
Because there was a time, as I said, I didn't know what I was going to do with my life, and I was at a restaurant eating with my brother, and I still remember it to this day. We were just eating lunch, just having like we normally do, just have. And my partner, Bill Jarrett, was at the restaurant at the same time. And my brother Flash and I, we came out of the restaurant. We just kind of sat around and talked, and just outside the restaurant. And Bill Jarrett came up to me and he said, "Anthony, what are you doing with your life? What's the plan for your life?" And I said, "Well, Bill, at this time," I said, "Mr. Jarrett, at this time, I really don't know what I'm going to do with my life." I said, I'm just trying to figure things out right now. And he said, "Well, have you ever considered the automotive industry?" I mean, just like that, just as plain as day. He said, "Have you ever thought about the automotive industry?" I said, "Mr. Jarrett, I have, other than driving cars, other than, just going and buying cars." I said, I had no thought of either owning my business or even being a part of the automotive industry until he mentioned it. And he said, "Well, Anthony, I tell you what, come by my office. Let's sit down and talk. And I can tell you what Ford Motor Company is offering." And so that's what I did. I went by his office about a week later, sat down with him in his office, and he said, "Anthony, Ford Motor Company is they have this program called the Dealer Development Program, and they're looking for minority dealers. And I will sponsor you if you would like to be sponsored, and you can come and work for me, and we can let Ford know that I'm going to sponsor you." And it just kind of went from there.
The rest is history.
The rest is history. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. So you didn't choose it.
I didn't
It
choose
kind of chose you.
Yes.
And you kind of felt the leaning and the leaning from the Lord that you kind of set it in your lap.
I can say this. He literally set it in my lap because there was nothing else that I could consider. There was nothing else other than sports that I was considering in my life at that time. So honestly, I mean, at that moment, I was like, "Well, Lord, if this is the direction you want me to go in, then here it is."
Okay, all right. Now, so transitioning from sports, and I know there's a lot of similarities in mindset and all of that, but transitioning from sports to becoming a professional, a businessman. Um, is there specific habits, practices, or mind shifts that you had to do that was crucial to your growth and becoming successful?
Absolutely, because sports is relative, just basically, just about to owning your business, because you have goals, you have aspirations. There's a commitment, there's a dedication to it. There's teamwork, obviously, in the business. So a lot of that is relative to sports. And for me, having that sports background, really, when I was able to go into the automotive industry and be an owner or an operator, it just kind of fit right into place. I mean, working with a team of people, setting goals, having aspirations, because Ford Motor Company puts goals and aspirations on you. They forecast your business, and you've got to try to hit those metrics. So it's really no different than playing baseball. Every year you want to get better. Every year you want to grow. Every year you want to inspire. Every year you want to do greater. So it was basically relative to sports.
Okay. Now, we talked about maybe some challenging times, but are there some lessons that you've learned from failure, or what you would consider failure? Is there any lessons that failure has taught you?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I can say this. I can't say that I've ever failed. I think I've learned more than I have failed.
Right.
There's many things that I weren't great at, and it taught me how to obviously prepare myself for it to be better at it. And I remember going into the automotive industry, and if I can tell the story as quickly as I can.
Take your time.
All right. Bill Jarrett and I, we were going to make it a 5-year plan. I started working for him, going through this process of being possibly a dealer someday. We were going to make it a 5-year plan. And that's when I go back and say, you just tell God your plans and you'll find him laughing someplace. Well, within that year, I started working for Bill Jarrett in 1998. And we were going to make it a 5-year plan. Well, within 7 months, we're buying a store. Ford Motor Company is coming to us saying, hey, we've got a location that we want you to consider, which was Haines City Ford at the time. And we would like for you guys to buy this store and have Anthony as the operator. So going into the business, I only had 7 months of education within the automotive industry. And here I am going into it as now an operator. So I had no experience. I had no understanding of what, how to do this or how to do that. And I remember talking to the Lord vividly. I mean, just, Lord, you've got to help me because I don't know as much as my partners. I don't know as much as these people. And even my managers knew more than I knew. And I said, Lord, you got to help me. Please help me to understand this business because I want to be good at it. I want to be successful at it. Well, you also have to be careful what you ask God. So during that time, God brought the recession. The recession came in 2006, 2007, 2008. And that's when I truly learned the business. That's when I truly understood the plus and minuses, the credits and debits, how to set up pay plans, checking your expenses, making sure that no one is doing this, looking behind, inspecting what you're expect. I mean, that's when I truly learned the business is during those 3 years or 4 years during the recession.
Okay. All right. Now, tell me what does the first hour of your day look like? How do you set the tone for an inspired day?
Well, when I come into the dealership, I pray. I mean, I'm literally driving around, I'm just talking to God, just, praying unto him. First of all, thanking him, but then praying over, the employees and what have you. Just, that's the first part of my day because obviously, I mean, I don't know what what's going to transpire within the day, but I'm praying. And then I go into my office and then I start looking at numbers. I start looking at, what sales did the night before, the day before, and what service did. And I start calculating the business from that point. And then I meet with my managers and then we go over what it is what our plans are for today. What's the goal and aspirations or plans are for today.
Now, I know that you also do a weekly prayer session at your dealership with your managers. That's Friday mornings, I think?
Friday mornings, yes.
Yeah. So the first time I saw that online, I was like, wow, I think that's a first. That you have a business owner that's gathering his employees together and saying, let's ask for the favor of God.
Yes. Yes.
So,
well, the automotive industry, and I don't know if you know this personally, Ms. Downing, but the automotive industry doesn't get a great reputation now. People have said many things about the automotive industry and how how do you know if somebody is lying in the automotive industry? Just watch them open their mouth. It's just there's a lot of bad reputation out there when it comes to the automotive industry. So prayer is much needed. Obviously not just amongst the people that work for me, but also amongst the customers that are coming in. I'm praying for God's favor. Lord, you know the people that need to obviously service their vehicle and buy vehicles, send them in, Lord, and then help us to serve them well.
Right.
Because there are obviously, reputations out there about the automotive industry that's not good.
That you have to overcome.
That you got to overcome.
Each and every time.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Now, I know that, and I left her out of my intro, so I've got to talk about Mrs. Gordon.
Yes.
Who is very important to your business.
Yes.
3 decades almost.
Yes, this will be our 28th year in the automotive industry. 28 for Davenport, 26 for Winter Haven. So
Okay.
both sorts.
And then you've also been married about 3 decades.
Yeah, I got to get this right.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
29 years now.
29, yeah.
years.
Because I think the last time I had your bio, you were going to speak for a banquet.
Yes.
And it said that you all have been married. So I was calculating myself. It said that you all have been married 18 years at that time, and that was like 10 years ago. Yeah. So I knew we were getting close to 30. So yes. That's awesome. That's awesome. So, and I know that she works with you every day. So
yes,
that's just awesome.
She's in there just as much as I am. And so when I'm at different locations, she's able to be at the Davenport. She works solely out of the Davenport location, but when I'm not there, she's there.
Awesome. Okay, what is a book, poem, or quote that you return to time and time again to gain your inspiration?
Well, it's not a book and it's not a quote, but it's a Bible scripture. And this scripture has been with me from when I was playing professional baseball till today, and that's Philippians 4:13. For I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. Because there are moments and times that I was playing baseball, there was moments and times even in the automotive industry when things are not always going well. And I have to revert back to that scripture to encourage myself. I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. So yes, that's the scripture that's been staying with me for years.
That is a great scripture, one of my favorite. How do you define success for yourself today, and has that definition changed over time?
I think it redefines itself as time goes on, but I think for me, it's just serving, to be honest with you. I mean, I find success in the ways of serving. I mean, how can I serve better? Or how can I serve my employees better, or how can I serve the community better, or how can I serve the church members better? I mean, how can I be a better servant? For me, that's success for me. I mean, yes, I like to be successful in business, yes, but I think when I'm successful in business, the employees are also successful because we have a network of employees that have been with us for years. As long as I've been in the car business, they've been with me. So I've seen them succeed as well, go from being just on the level of having a position to now having a title in the dealership.
That's awesome.
They've been successful.
That's awesome. So I know as I was looking at the bio from before, and I think you were a deacon at that time.
Yes.
And since that time, you've become a minister.
Yes.
So tell me about that.
Well, my bishop, he's passed away. It was a blessing to be able to serve him while he was yet alive. He had pastored 3 churches, Avon Park, Lake City, and Tampa. He lived in Lake City. So whenever he would come to Avon Park, I would be the one that would help him, get from Lake City to Avon Park, or get from Avon Park back to Lake City. So it was just a blessing for me to be able to have that opportunity to be with him, fellowship with him, talk with him, drive for him, and all of those things. So I was just thinking on the deacon level. That's it. I was like, I wasn't trying to go into ministry, and so when he had gotten to a place where he wasn't able to drive around as much, and I had a chance, I can honestly say that I was it was like the Lord was just calling me into it, so to speak. Because I remember going up to Lake City and having a conversation with him, and I said, Bishop, let's talk about ministry, because I know that I've been in this position of deaconship for quite some time. I said, what do you think about me being in ministry? And Bishop his face just lit up, and he says, I'm going to tell you a story. He says, God showed me this, but I didn't want to say anything to you because I felt like had I said something to you, you would have done it because I told you to do it. because you would have never told me no. If I'd have said, hey, Deacon, I would like for you to consider ministry, you would have done it because I asked you to do it.
Right.
He said, so I told God this, Lord, I don't want to tell him that. I want him to come and ask me. So sure enough, here I'm going to ask Bishop, and Bishop's face just lights up because he says, what I asked God, it was confirmed. You came to me, I didn't go to you. And when I did that, he prayed this prayer that I tell people. I said, I've heard Bishop pray before, but I've never heard him pray like he did this time. So at that moment, I felt like at ease. I felt at peace that this is where God was leading me. And it wasn't, I think it was 4 months later, Bishop passed away. And when I got the word, I was actually out playing golf when I got the word that he had passed, or he had gone to the hospital and he had passed. I was saddened, but I was at peace. I don't know how you sum that up, but I was saddened, obviously, that I've lost a mentor, a friend. But I was at peace knowing that I had the conversation with him before he had passed.
Right. Wow. I knew there was a story.
Oh yes. Oh, I wouldn't have never just jumped up. No.
Okay. So we've kind of covered your professional sports career a little bit about the business, a little bit about your ministry. Anything that I didn't cover that you would like to share?
Well, I can say this. I want to applaud you. I want to thank you, because when I came to Haines City, I knew no one. And when I say I didn't know anyone, I had grown up somewhat in Haines City, but I really didn't know a lot of people in Haines City. And I have to applaud you and Miss Leone, because the both of you basically welcomed me into Haines City, and you took me around. You introduced me to people through the NAACP, through other, things that Miss Leone took me to church. There was so many things that I didn't know people. Right. I knew how to come to work and obviously work the business, but I didn't know how to go out and just, fellowship with other people within the community. And I didn't want to tell people what I did. I didn't want them to know that I was the owner of anything. I just wanted them to just receive me. Right. And so I applaud you, and I appreciate you and Miss Leone for being those two individuals that helped me become acclimated within the Haines City community.
Well, thank you. That's awesome. And we are so glad that you are here. You have been just tremendous. And that's a piece of your testimony that we haven't touched. Is this year you were nominated, and I'll let you fill in the details.
I was nominated as Time Magazine Dealer of the Year, which I was not at all thought I would ever be considered for that award. But from serving in different places, whether it's NAMAD, National Automobile Dealers Association, Ford MDA, Ford Minority Dealers Association, and just they said that my reputation, they said that the way I was as a person that wanted to just help others, they felt like that I would be a prime candidate to be nominated. So my peers actually nominated me. I was not even thinking about ever. I didn't even know Time Magazine had a Dealer of the Year until I was nominated for Time Magazine Dealer of the Year. So it was hard. It was a good feeling walking across that stage and representing them.
Yeah. And not only that, but you and your wife and through your dealership do so much charitable work in not just in Haines City, in Davenport, in Avon Park, and I know that she was recently recognized by the Hillsborough Highlands County NAACP for her work. So just the things that you guys do is so important and just makes such a difference in the community. So,
well, thank you very much, because she loves serving herself. And if you give her a project, she's not one to give you anything other than her best during the project. So if you ask her to decorate anything, to coordinate anything, she's gonna make sure that she gives you her best to do it.
100%. That's awesome. So I think we've done all of the crucial questions. So we're going to do some little rapid fire questions.
Sure.
Questions that just so that the people can get to know you a little better. So the first thing that comes to mind, just share it with us. What's a small thing that brings you immense joy?
Serving.
That's not small, but okay, I'll let you get away with that one.
I understand, but serving can take place in so many different ways.
Well, yeah, that's true.
And for me, anytime I'm serving, I mean, it brings me joy, because I don't ask for anything. I don't want anything in return. Even in ministry, I don't ask for anything. I don't want anything. I just enjoy serving. It brings me joy.
What is the best advice you've ever received in 5 words or less?
My coach, Tito Francona, when I was playing with the Chicago White Sox, said this to me. He said, "Stop being too conscientious of what others think." I don't know, that's more than 5 words.
That's okay.
He says you're worried too much about what others think.
Yeah. That's a real good piece of advice.
Yeah.
And a hard one to follow.
I agree. I agree. And I'll tell you, can I tell you the story?
Sure.
So here I'm playing with the White Sox, and Tito's my coach. And Tito's he was one of the best coaches I ever had playing professional sports. And I tell him that today. And I remember a game I didn't pitch so well, or I didn't play so well, or whatever. And Tito, I was concerned about, not only what the players thought about me, but what the coaches thought about me, what the fans thought about me and all this. And I remember Tito coming up to me after the game, and he put his arm around me and he said, "G, stop worrying. You belong here. Stop worrying about what everybody else thinks. You're successful. You're a good pitcher. Stop being concerned about what everybody else thinks." That was hard.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah, that's a good piece of advice. Okay, fill in the blank. The world needs more
Servants.
I'm noticing a theme here. Okay.
Well, I'll elaborate on that. I think people love titles. And I'm going to say this right. I'm not saying everyone does. I think the world, many people want titles or, accolades and things, instead of being the servant and not really wanting to, just wanting to serve, not needing anything behind it.
Yeah. That's a good one. The world needs more servants. Yeah. All right. One thing you're most grateful for in this exact moment?
Life.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Your favorite scent or sound?
My favorite scent. Oh, man. My favorite scent. Lavender.
Okay. That's a good one. That's a good one. And now this one is a little tricky. So, what's a belief that you hold that many people might disagree with?
Wow. A belief that I hold that many people might disagree with. Wow. I don't know. A belief that I hold that many people might disagree with.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? Let me say this. That you say that many people might disagree with?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's an ongoing debate that LeBron is better than Michael Jordan. And I'm here to tell you that's not true. Michael Jordan is better than... No. I'm a Michael Jordan fan. So. But there's an ongoing debate that LeBron is better than Michael, and I'm sorry. So many people might disagree with me.
Now, see, we were doing good. Okay, we'll We'll leave that right there. We'll let that land right there. All right. What is one uninspired activity that you do just for fun?
Golf.
Okay.
Golf.
All right.
Yeah. I enjoy playing golf with my cousins. It's a great time to just get away and have time to myself.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. That's all the questions. You made it through it.
All right. Thank you for having me.
All right. We're going to just close out with two things. As we wrap up this conversation today, what is one message you hope that every listener takes away from our conversation today?
Well, I can say this. Don't ever stop believing that there's greater, because there's always greater. Don't ever stop settling for average. Believe that there's greater.
Believe that it's greater. That's awesome. That's awesome. Now I'm going to give you an opportunity to talk to the audience. You can share the best place for the audience to connect with you. If we want to shout out Jared Gordon in Devonport, all right, and or anything else, just how they can connect with you and learn more about the incredible work that you do.
Well, if you want to connect with me, I love serving. So at this moment, I would more than likely say whenever I'm in the community serving, that's a better way to connect with me, because I'm in Haines City, I'm in Winter Haven, I'm in Avon Park, I'm in Lake Wells. I'm basically within the Heartland, Polk County area just serving. If you want to connect with me, the best thing to do is connect with me through serving. That's the best way to do it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I know that you do Little League as well.
Little League,
you guys
yes.
sponsor several Little League events. So
yep, that's Little League for me was and we talk about Little League a lot with my friends, but Little League for me was a part of my life to where it was something great for me, because to me, I don't feel like they do Little League like we did when we were coming up. But Little League was just a place in our lives to where it was just, everything was just fantastic for me. Yeah. Wouldn't change it for the world.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to share with us tonight and just share a part of your story, because I know I didn't get it all, but I pulled as much out as I could. So,
well, I hope I didn't talk too much.
No, we did excellent. We did really well, really well. So, but again, thank you for taking the time and being willing to share. And thank you for having that servant heart.
Thank you, Ms. Downer. And thank you for what you do.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Inspired Living with Cynthia, your weekly dose of purpose, passion, and perspective. I hope today's conversation encouraged you, empowered you, and gave you something meaningful to carry into your week. Remember, inspiration isn't just something you hear, it's something you live. So take what you've learned, apply it with courage, and keep moving toward the life that's calling you. Until next time, reminding you to stay inspired, stay intentional, and stay true to your purpose. Have a blessed and beautiful week.